then I went on to our next article, which caught my eye because it's talking about how the Stamford YMCA has reached an agreement with the government to resolve allegations that the facility's childcare programs and other services were not accessible to a child with autism.
Right.
And that they were found to be, violating the Americans with Disabilities Act by not making accommodations for a child on the spectrum. Now, if you watch the show at all, we all have a psychic wound. Good morning, Christina. We all have a psychic wound as a parent, like whether, and it might be a bunch of them, but a time when our kids were excluded and that we were told either implicitly or explicitly that our child was not welcome because they were on the autism spectrum. Mine was at the local YMCA.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, I've told the story here before because it's still, I was just saying to somebody the other day, they were talking about how their feelings got hurt because they felt like their kid was sidelined. And they were like, do you understand that? And I said, oh, say the words, say the letters YMCA. And I'm right back to that day.
What happened, Shannon? Refresh
So
me on that.
we had just joined, we had really good friends who were at our local YMCA, and I was not getting a break at all. And my child was not yet diagnosed. And the friends had said, you need to join the YMCA. It's so fabulous because we check our kids into the child care and we go and we work out and it's a break. And if you want to just sit and type a little bit on your computer, that counts. And your child is in the child care. It's all part of the same price, and you get these classes, and your child can take swim classes. It's such a great deal. And we didn't have a lot of money, but we were like, let's do it. We need, like, if it benefits all of us, let's do that. So we joined on January 1st of 2006, the YMCA. We paid our membership, did all that. And on the 16th of January, so 2 weeks later, our son was diagnosed as being on the spectrum. And I went into the YMCA and asked to talk to the director. And I said, hey, just want to make you aware of the fact that our child was diagnosed with autism. And I'm wondering what kinds of programs and things. And she was like, oh, we don't have a program. And I said, oh, and she was like, but it's fine, whatever, just, So I started coming to the gym and I checked Jem into the childcare, and they had pretzels and stuff that they were feeding the kids, and you could attach a tag. And the tag on his, because we'd already started gluten-free by that point. We started before the diagnosis. And because we were, pretty sure we were going to get the diagnosis. Anyway, he had a tag that I would safety pin to him that said, do not feed allergies, don't feed anything. And so we did this for like a week, and then I went into work and I'm just getting on the first machine, and they come and they're like, oh, you have to come right now. He's hysterical and we don't know what to do. And I came running into the thing, and there is my child, and he is like 2.5, and he's crying and he's snotting, and he won't let anybody near him. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, we don't know. It was weird. He just went off and he threw a toy at another child, and we can't have that. And I picked him up, and they said, you have to leave right now. So I took him home, and I was hysterical. I was like, what set this off? I have no idea. We got through the weekend. He calmed down. We didn't know. And I said to my husband, I said, geez, we hadn't seen this behavior since we started the gluten-free, casein-free. I'm wondering if it wasn't really the thing that made things better, because now he's doing it even without the stuff. So fine. I go back on the Monday. I check him back into the daycare. I attach the little tag again. I send him back into the daycare, and I get on the first machine, and they come and they're like, no, you have to get him and take him home. He's completely out of control. And then they said, and he's no longer welcome here. A 2.5-year-old. And I picked him up and carried him, and he was tantruming and freaking out. And I was like, I don't even know why this is happening. They wouldn't tell me. They were like, nothing happened before, nothing. And I couldn't even get him in the car. I couldn't get him in the car seat. He was inconsolable. And around the side of the building comes this young man, and he comes up to me, and he worked in the daycare, and he said, are you okay? Do you need help? And I said, I don't know if I'm okay, and I don't know how you could help me. And he said, can I just ask you a question? I said, yeah. And he said, it says not to feed him anything because of allergies. is the way he's behaving right now, could it possibly be from eating pretzels? And I looked up at him and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said the director of the daycare the other day fed him a bunch of pretzels and then he acted like this. And then this morning he came in and the first thing she did was fed him a bunch of pretzels. And I went to the director of the YMCA and said, "This is terrible." And she said, "Well, you don't have any proof of that." And I didn't want to throw the kid under the bus, right? And I asked them to reconsider and to allow him back in the center. They told me no, that they were not equipped, nor were they going to become equipped to deal with a child on the spectrum. And I said, "What would you have done if it was a wheelchair?" She said, "It's not a wheelchair." But she also said, "We have classes that we don't allow kids in wheelchairs, the YMCA." And I said, "If my child's not welcome here, then I'm not welcome here. So refund my nope." And that's when I said to her, "I will have every news crew here. I will sue you. I will do all this stuff." And so they refunded our membership, and that was it.
So they didn't offer you an option of having an aide come with him? Because I had a similar
Oh,
experience with a preschool. When Wyatt
we had
was,
already brought an aide.
oh, you had.
We had already when he was diagnosed. They were like, "What can we do to help?" And I brought an aide, and the aide trained their staff. Yeah, and after that is when all of a sudden he misbehaved because I think that the director did not like the training from my aide,
Right.
and so I think she decided to feed him pretzels to get him out.
Mm,
But what it did do was it showed me that if my child had gluten, we had almost an immediate reaction.
right.
And I would never have tried that myself. But
Right.
I interrupted you, Nancy. But yes, I did bring in a person who trained them.
Right. Yeah. When Wyatt was in preschool, he started having massive tantrums. And the preschool said, "You're going to have to provide a shadow
Yeah.
for him to
Yeah.
continue to go here," which I did. And the shadow was not very well trained, unfortunately. But I did provide the shadow. And it was not too long after that he was diagnosed and started going to a special needs preschool.
But I want to, and I don't know if Vince is here yet. I want us to talk a little bit about what it feels like. Because for me, it's still psychic wound that the YMCA, I know people who have gone back to that YMCA, and Vince is here, so let's bring him in. But I know people that have gone back to that YMCA that they are very inclusive now. They have programs for kids with autism. But I read this article last night and I said to my husband, I feel bad that we didn't pursue it 18 years ago, 16 years ago. And because it's 16 years later, and they had to involve the federal government to make a YMCA accessible for a kid with autism. It makes me want to spit nails. Anyway, let's bring Vince in. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.